Great. All right, then I'd like to welcome to the stage Teresa. Teresa is located near Wiesbaden, and will be talking to us today about the efforts of the Warren campaign overseas.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be here today. It's been a great day so far, and thank you so much for the opportunity. As you said, my name is Teresa. I live in Wiesbaden, I vote in Illinois, and I am a grassroots volunteer coordinator for Elisabeth Warren in Germany. And my friends were thrilled to hear that I was going to come speak to you today because they need a break. I can't stop talking about Elisabeth Warren. She is, in my opinion, the candidate of a lifetime. I've never campaigned for anyone before, never been moved to, and I'm not alone. Perhaps you saw our Advent calendar. It featured Americans from all over the globe, from South Korea to Costa Rica and Stockholm, eager to share their enthusiasm for Warren. And I'm not here alone today either. Mahima Shah Verma, a recent USC graduate, is here, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience volunteering for Warren. But first, so Angela is no Michelle Obama, I'm no Adam Schiff, but I am going to make my case. And I hope you're not as tough a crowd as the Senate Republicans. I'd like to start by putting Warren's campaign in historical perspective. Warren is pushing back against the past 40 years of demonizing government and selling it short. Warren's tagline, "The time for small ideas is over," is a deliberate hearkening back to the era I came of age in. The era of big government is over. Warren wants to remind us what government can do, what it should do, and what we should fight to have it do for all of us. And against the tides that ultimately washed up a big, nasty, smelly piece of garbage named Donald Trump, Warren famously sets her call for big structural change. A nation that could elect our worst person to the highest office in the land is by definition not a healthy country. And what ails it will not be addressed by what Warren calls nibbling around the edges. A recent Vox article summed it up this way: the case for Warren is threefold. She understands America's problems better than anyone else in the field. She understands how to focus and wield the powers of the regulatory state better than anyone else. And she is far and away the candidate with the clearest plan for making ambitious governance possible again. So Elisabeth Warren encourages us to ask a simple question: who does government work for? Warren does not accept the oft-touted premise that the government does not work, that it's dysfunctional or captured by gridlock. No, Washington runs like a well-oiled machine. It's just that the machine serves only a few select people. The Venn diagram mapping the rich and the powerful in America is not yet quite a perfect circle, but it's getting close, and the corrosive effects of this dramatic inequality are making themselves felt in almost every aspect of American life. So for Warren, the question, who does government work for, can and must be inverted. Who works for and in government? She points to a veritable revolving door between public life and private enterprise, in which conflicts of interest run rampant because they are extremely profitable for a few. If you run out of Netflix material, I suggest you go to YouTube and watch Warren grill public figures. It's sensational. In Warren's words, government keeps working better and better for a thinner and thinner slice of folks at the top. Her solution has become her signature policy issue, tax the ultra-rich, also known as the 2-cent plan. The broad outlines are quickly sketched. Every dollar after the first $50 million earned is taxed at a rate of 2%, 2 cents on the dollar. This alone will raise $3.75 billion, enough to fund universal child care and pre-K, public education, universal college, canceling student debt, and a big chunk of Medicare for all. This plan is extraordinarily popular. Recent poll had it hitting 74% approval rate. Billionaires are not as fond of it. but they can at least go to Warren's website and survey the potential damages on a specially tailored calculator. And I myself have a nice hot cup of billionaire tears every morning in courtesy of the best-selling item in the Warren Swag Shop. All the rest of Warren's plans, the Green and Blue New Deals, criminal justice reform, women's reproductive rights, with a special focus on improving Black maternal health care, housing and its racial injustices, LGBTQ rights, disability rights, immigration, foreign policy, gun legislation, and the plan to restore integrity and competence to government after Donald Trump, just to name a few, grow like branches from the strong trunk of anti-corruption and redressing inequality in American society. So how is it that Warren knows more about these problems than anyone else? Well, she spent most of her adult life studying them, beginning as a law professor, trying to understand why so many American families were going bankrupt. And it wasn't for the reasons that Warren's Republican family and friends told her, so she switched parties accordingly. And armed with this expertise, Warren was one of the few people who predicted the 2008 crash. And after it happened, she founded a government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB. And I just used this myself the other day. As I told the story on Twitter, I was on the phone with AT&T for over a week trying to get them to unlock my phone. They kept telling me it would take 24 hours. Finally, I snapped. I told them I'd be filing a complaint with the CFPB. And they unlocked my phone while I waited. Okay, so if I leave you with the impression that Warren's plans are designed mainly to help white women with their customer service issues, I will be doing her a great disservice. What I would really like you to remember is, first, that agency has saved U.S. consumers $12 billion since its inception, and that she set it up before she even won her first election. Masterfully operating the levers of government before she was even a part of it. One can only imagine what she would do as president, and it's a mental exercise I encourage everyone to engage in. So I'm going to have to skip down here because I'm running out of time. I want to mention Warren's engagement as a Democrat. She has raised $11 million for congressional candidates. She personally calls them and coordinates their campaigns with them. She is on board, and we are going to need this kind of leadership in 2020. I also encourage you to find out more about her life story. She grew up in the ragged edges of the middle class in Oklahoma, worked her way up to becoming a Harvard law professor. She can talk to a lot of different Americans from a lot of different walks of life, and she is not afraid to get out there. Can I just go real quick? I want to say my final pitch is if we want to win this election and win back the country, we cannot be afraid. Fear doesn't feel good, and it also won't work. If we dare, in Warren's words, to dream big and fight hard, we can not only take our country back, but help move it forward. Thank you very much. Can Mahima just have 1 minute to tell us about the ground route?
All right, 1 minute.
Okay.
Hi everybody, I'm going to talk really, really fast because I have a minute. I'll be leading DA Berlin's phone banking coordination, and I'm a master's student in international affairs at the Verdi School of Governance in Berlin. And I've been in Germany for 2.5 years, and I went home for Christmas this year, and I came to an Orange County, California, which recently turned blue in 2018. Yeah. Very excited because I grew up in a Republican majority county. And I've never been a part of a presidential campaign, but what motivated me to join Team Warren was when I was in my library in Berlin, writing policy papers and policy notes and studying all the issues that she talks about. I saw videos of these town halls where she would just go out in neighborhoods and sit down with people and listen to what they wanted to say. So when I went back to Orange County, I joined Team Warren. I would canvass and phone bank, and I saw that local restaurants had open spaces for all of us to meet in Little Irvine, and we all went there and we would talk, and for the first time sit down and listen. And what I really liked about Team Warren on a local basis was that they didn't just take citizens into their party, and only citizens could go out there and canvass and phone bank. We had DACA recipients, homeless veterans, homeless individuals who were excluded from the OC Register of Voting's efforts to reach out to registered voters, and we saw that we could all work together, even though across campaign lines that there's not many of us, but a lot of us are out there and we care about what's going to happen in 2020. So I joined that in particular, and I've seen her as a leader, and I really would like to encourage everybody to just take the time to learn about every issue out there. Policy plans are one thing, it's another thing to implement. So I would encourage you to speak to all of your communities and make that effort. So thank you so much for the space and time.